Hello there, you're welcome to this channel. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be taking you through the drafting of a basic sleeve and the measurements needed. So stay tuned. So in today's tutorial, we're drafting our basic sleeve. Now I told you that we're working with beginners, so we're giving you from the very beginning, right? Now I'm going to be drawing out a start line. I have my piece of paper here. I've drawn out my start line. The length of our sleeve, we're going to be making a long sleeve. Length of our sleeve is 22 inches. Now I'm going to tell us the measurements we're using for this sleeve. So you can see that from my start line, I've measured out 22 inches. And then I'm going to mark that down and also draw with my ruler. So if you want to draft patterns well, you want to make sure you have your curves and have your straight rulers so that your patterns can be perfect, right? So the measurements we're going to be using here I have a croquis, and I'm going to be using it to show you what measurements we're going to be working with. Now, as our length, this is a long sleeve, so this is where this sleeve is going to stop, right? It's going to stop at the wrist here. So from shoulder to the wrist, you're going to measure and have that, and we're working with 22 for this one. Shoulder point to elbow, we're working with 13. Right, so those are the basics that you need, right? Those are the basics that you need for your sleeve. Shoulder point to elbow, shoulder to your wrists, and that's if you're working with a long sleeve. And then if your sleeve is going to stop at this point, you're going to take your shoulder to that point, right? So for us, we have about 10 inches. And then you're going to take the circumference. Circumference of this point is called the bicep circumference. Elbow circumference, wrist circumference. So we have our wrist circumference as 8, elbow circumference as 10, and bicep circumference as 10. So we have that as well. And so we're going to go ahead and impute this on our piece of paper, right? So I want you to pay full attention here. So we're entering our length first. I have my shoulder to elbow, to wrist rather, which is 22 inches. Shoulder to elbow, which is 13 inches, as I stated earlier. So you mark that down. And then shoulder to bicep, which is 10 inches. So we're marking that down as well. So I'll draw all my lines. So we have our lines. Now the circumference. This is our elbow line, this is our wrist, this is our bicep, this is our shoulder. So you're going to be taking your circumference, and your circumference is going to be divided by 2. So for the elbow, that our circumference is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. You mark that down here. And for the bicep, that the circumference is 10 as well. 10 divided by 2, you mark that down here, which is the same 5. Now for the wrist, that the circumference is 8 inches. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you mark that here. Now you keep that aside. We're coming to the upper part of this sleeve. The first thing you want to get is your cap height. Your cap height is gotten by calculating your bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1 inch. Bust circumference for this person we are working with is 34 inches divided by 12 plus 1 inch. So you calculate that down. So 34 divided by 12 is 2.83 for this person, right? Plus 1 inch, which is 3.83, right? So whatever your own bust circumference is, or your client's bust circumference is what you enter. So I'm going to take it from the shoulder line, measure up my 2.83, which can be 3 inches because 2.83 is really close to 3. So just round it off. And then plus 1, making it 4. How did I get 4? 34 divided by 12 is 2.83. 2.83 rounded off to 3 plus 1 is 4. So just follow. Right. So you have your cap height. Now on this cap height line, you're going to enter your cap width. Right. And for that, you divide the bust circumference. These are formulae, so you want to note them. Bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. Right. So for her, it's 7.1. So I'll put this down here, 7.1 inch. You can see where I put it from this center point. So you connect it back to your shoulder line. So you can see what we have there. Now you're going to measure this slant line. I have about 8.1 inch. You divide that by 2 to get the midpoint, and you mark down the midpoint. You can see how I did my tape to divide it into 2. Right. So from here you can go up by 0.5 inch and connect. You can use your straight point of your ruler to connect it, and then use the slightly curved part to connect it back to the shoulder line. Right. So basically you have your sleeve. Now you connect from this point, because this is where your armhole will be, to this your biceps, or you connect it straight to your elbow. And then to your wrist. So you can see we have our basic long sleeve here. It's as simple and short as this. So I'm going to be cutting this out, and basically we've come to the end of the drafting of this sleeve. So you can see we have our basic sleeve here. So thank you so much for being a part of this tutorial. We look forward to seeing you practice, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. Till our next tutorial. My name remains Ruth Kenneth Chichero from Style with Bloom. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.